The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
Hall of Fame, no opinions are the same. Lovely chocolate in the bin for the poll, who will win? Cream soda wrestling, pimple dick ranting, air fryer Brussels sprouts, Maxi often cheats. Hey yo, let's start the show. CWF are set to go. Many movies I won't know, such a fiasco. Max v. Cy was pretty crap, probably won't go back to that. Max needs to wear a hat, and he sometimes cheats. Hogan is a liar, but Barry Windham is the
worst
thing. Hogan is a liar, hear all about it on Chain Wrestling.
Oh, it's been a while, hasn't it? Hey, yo, Magsy, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Look at you. I haven't seen your face for ages. How have you been?
Up and down, mate, you know. I've missed you, though, buddy. I've missed you. No, I've had a shit time, mate. I've had a shit time.
Yeah.
I've had loads of crap going on. It's been fucking awful. Life just pisses me off. But we're over that now. Here we are back.
That's in
Back
the past.
on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, mate. On a Tuesday.
Yeah. This is the show folding to your whims. You, the Vince McMahon of the SJP World Media.
Whoa, I don't shit on no one.
Taking control. Passing around the interns like a bag of toffees. So, yeah, we've been switched to Tuesday nights because we're the TNA of the network.
Well, initially, basically, there's two reasons why this happened. Two reasons why we're on a Tuesday, right? One, I got my weeks muddled up quite badly because I thought we were going to go live last week. So I said, let's try a Tuesday because then the Volley could do the transfer deadline show on a Monday night, which they ultimately didn't do in the end anyway. Cheers, boys. But no, I'm joking. But it turns out that we weren't going live last Tuesday anyway, so it didn't really matter. So that was the first reason. The second reason being, because of my job and so on, Monday nights can be a bit tricky. So I thought, let's try a Tuesday and see what happens. Now, as it occurs in the last couple of days, I've had an interview and I've got another job now. So, but it probably still apply. Well, no, the thing is, I was working for an agency and it was bullshit. But this is now proper employment, and it's going to be. I wasn't getting the hours I needed. I was getting messed around left, right, and centre, and you got bills to pay. That's no good at all, is it? So this is much better. I had the interview yesterday. They ran me today. So good stuff. Yeah, so hopefully that'll be going forward settled. We can look into what we're doing properly and so on. And then maybe we stay on a Tuesday. Maybe we go back to Mondays. We'll have to see how it all drops, Maxie, won't we?
I mean, Tuesdays kind of does make sense because there's the Volley then can do Monday Night Football and stuff like that. And we can perhaps talk about what's happening in the world of recent wrestling with Raw being on Netflix now and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll test the waters. But as with this show, you can never be guaranteed when we're going to rock up. So just keep your ears peeled and stuck on the X channel thing page.
Ears peeled.
Yeah, ears, eyes, nose.
Do you peel ears? Why don't you peel eyes? It's a bit of fun. I suppose we've been keeping your eyes peeled just because you've got your lids open, innit? Like that. You know? But you don't peel your ears.
To the ground.
Ears to the ground. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
None of that what I said makes sense. Basically, though, We don't know what day we're going to stick on. We're testing the waters just as much as anything. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll find a common ground where work doesn't interfere with the importance of this podcast.
Indeed. Indeed. And on that note, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever and whenever you may be listening or watching from. This is Chain Wrestling Live on a Tuesday with Max and Cy, an SJP World Media production, episode 168. That's a lot, isn't it, Max? It's a lot. Even with these breaks we've been having, it's a lot. Almost too much, yes. It's excessive, I feel. I am Cy, and with me, as always, is the Art Donovan to my Jason Donovan. How much does that guy weigh, Max? How much does that guy weigh, Max? How much does that guy weigh? My word, how much does that guy weigh?
I hated him.
Art Donovan's a dick. He is the king of the ring to my itchy ding-a-ling, but I got some ointment, so don't worry. A podcaster who... I broke you with that one, didn't I? A podcaster who doesn't need to win a wrestling tournament to get men kneeling in front of him. He normally just pays them instead. Lord Mags. First of all, mate, happy birthday for last weekend.
Oh, thank you very much.
Cool, let's move on.
No, it was actually really good. I don't normally celebrate birthdays. It's not my thing. I'm old and I don't like. It's just 1 year closer to death, isn't it? Really, when you get to our age. But yeah, I had a fun time. Me and the missus went to the local cinema and we watched what did we watch? Flight Risk with Mark Wahlberg, and he had a bald head in it, and it was hilarious.
I've seen the adverts of that, actually. Yeah.
I mean, the film wasn't hilarious. It was quite a good drama, well acted, but him wearing a wig and being bald, that was funny. He had the whole Hulk Hogan thing where he was long up the sides and back, but bald as a coot on top.
Fantastic. That's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, isn't he? Is he like? He's pretending to be something he's not. Is from the adverts? Is that right?
He's a pilot, but really he's not a pilot. Well, he obviously is a pilot because he can fly a plane, but he's also a very bad man. And he's a very bad man.
A very bad, like Rikishi's song would often say in the past, he's a very bad man. Shall we dive into the chat, Maxie, and see who's joined us early doors before we get on with what we're going to look at this week?
We shall, and we've got a cryptic one straight away from King Pig's Brothers. Hello, sir. How are you? He says, "Evening, lads. Welcome back." Sarah Jessica Parker is an ignorant bitch, sir. Can you Latin to that, Sarah?
Wow.
Like me.
I can't remember the exact context of what was being said, but Pig's Brothers commented on something on Twitter with regards to the Doctor Who pod.
Okay.
And rather than tagging, he tagged Dan and he tagged the show, but then rather than tagging me, which is at SJP Words, he tagged.
I can see where this is gone now.
You can see where I'm going already, can't you? He tagged at SJP, which is, first of all, the Twitter handle I initially wanted, bitch. But secondly, it's the Twitter handle that does belong to Sarah Jessica Parker. Oh, yeah, there you go. Comment in the chat. It was a picture of a Portaloo with a TARDIS written above it. So it would have no context.
Didn't reply. Wow.
So we then got into a bit of a conversation on Twitter talking about how who do we think her favourite Doctor would be. This conversation would be so random to her and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, as of live show time, Sarah Jessica Parker hasn't responded.
I don't believe she'll be the kind of person who monitors her own X account.
No, probably not.
She'll have people doing that. I mean, since Sex and the City, she's gone right up her horsey-faced arse.
Yeah, horsey-faced arse. She looks like... I didn't notice it firsthand, but somebody put a picture online of these two individuals next to each other, and now I can't unsee it. If anyone's unfamiliar with this individual, Google him, just so you'll get what I mean. Somebody put a picture of Sarah Jessica Parker, like where you are on the screen, Magsy, and then next to it, like where I am on the screen, a picture of Dee Schneider, the singer from Twisted Sister, with the big curly hair and so on. Now, you put those two next to each other, all of a sudden you go, holy shit. But until it's pointed out, I don't think people notice. So yeah, go and have a quick look at that. That's
I
interesting.
will definitely have a look at that. Anyway, back to the chat. Mortes, hello, sir. He says, up the CWF, and I had I want to say pleasure, but it wasn't really a pleasure of doing another pub quiz with them, and I feel I got cheated out of that. So
yeah,
I'm
me and
glad
Sharon didn't get an invite this time, did we?
No, I believe he did. I believe he turned them down.
No, we didn't get an invite, mate. Didn't get asked.
Oh well, maybe he was just
What
cheating. I mean,
I don't cheat. I very
it was
Dave.
more fun. It was more fun probably without you, to be fair.
Oh, like that, is it? Righto then. I officially retire.
I've got
from
some
quizzes.
new friends now, sir. I don't need you. Connor in the chat. Hello, Connor. He says, hello, lads. It's been almost a month since we last chatted. Spurs and United are in relegation battles. God is good.
And the thing is, as well, that's ironic coming from an Arsenal fan because they might finish second or third, and they're probably still win the same amount of trophies as us this year. I'm just throwing it out. I'm just my passing comment. That's all. You know.
I will leave you two to battle. King Pigswell says, "Evening, lads. Evening, CWF." Sharon, it's Tuesday night. You know what that means. Yeah, it may be Tuesday night, but we have no fucking clue what it means yet, Sharon. Until we get into the routine of a Tuesday night, we'll still think it's Monday.
Might not even be a routine. Might change it again in a couple of weeks. Who knows?
Yeah, knowing you. Dan Griffin, hello. He says, evening, folks. In it, lovely to be back. I mean, I'm nonplussed about it, to be fair. I've grown accustomed to Sa doing one show and then dipping out. He's the Pat McAfee of this. He rocks up for one show and then, yeah, bye. I'm off to do my other things. I'll see you in a month. King Pigwell says, our Monday night family on a Tuesday. I mean, we're switching it up. You don't want to be the same old, do you? You get stuck in a rut.
True.
And
life can get very repetitive.
Yeah. Dan says, we're having Spaghetti Tuesday on a Wednesday. See if Sa gets that Walking Dead reference. And by the look on his simpleton face, he has not got the reference whatsoever.
Wait, we have been watching The Walking Dead, which is why Dan's probably made that comment. No spoilers, please, anybody, because it will really upset my wife. But we're now
How many
into the last.
in?
Well, we're in season 11, Maxie. We're in there. We're about 3 or 4 episodes into the last one.
Is Negan into it yet?
Oh yeah. We're in the last one, mate. So Negan's in it, yeah.
So he's brained them two people with that bat, hasn't
he? Yeah, and the eye like on that the Asian kiddie. Yeah, that was cool. I like Negan. He's brilliant.
He's an absolute prick, isn't he?
Yeah, there's so many of them. So many of the characters I liked at the beginning got killed, and then the ones that stayed were just whingy little dickheads. I mean, don't get me wrong. All right, zombie apocalypse. It's not ideal, is it? Let's be honest. You know, it's tricky to live in. Excuse me. But come on, stop the whinging about it. Just get on with it, like, you know. And then Maggie as well, moaning all the time. Oh, you killed my husband. Fucking get over it, love. Jesus wept. It's 3 seasons ago.
I mean, yeah, you just do. You get over things like that.
Come on. Fucking hell.
Dan says, with you commenting on him not rocking up for the volley, fuck off. He had no voice.
Yeah, he sent me a voice message.
You could have done the first ever transfer deadline sign languaging.
Well, that would be good. That's what we want for this time next year. Learn to sign and do the whole thing. Yeah.
King Big Brothers was bang on the winner. He says, you know he won't get it, Dan. And he didn't.
Nope.
Dan then says Hulk Wahlberg. Yeah. I mean, Hulk's more of a knobhead, actual knobhead, but this guy, I can't remember the name of the character that he played, but it was a vicious little fucker. Let's just say that. King Pig Brothers, you won't like him when he's hungry. King Pig Brothers also then says the Turdis.
Yes, that's what we were showing Sarah Jessica Parker.
Dan then says, in fairness to Sarah Jessica Parker, she hasn't tweeted since 2021. I mean, this could have been...
Give me the handle then.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can apply for him after they've been dead for a while. But I think I think she'd claim it, wouldn't she?
That'd be weird, wouldn't it? If I managed to get hold of that Twitter handle and then like millions of Sex and the City
Her
fans
followers are like, who's this prick? Fucking hell, Sarah Jessica Parker has done a glow up.
Oh dear.
Andy from Bang Bang Podcast. I'll have the pleasure of having a chin wag of him tomorrow. And he says,
Lovely.
Kingpin fella in the bath. And he says, no, I'm waiting for the wife to finish having a poo before I run a bath. I hope she poos in the bath. I genuinely hope you have to fish out a dirty Mars bar out of that bathtub before you have a bath.
But not a proper poo though. One where you've had a little bit of an upset stomach, but you're starting to feel better. So you can't. So it stays in one piece, but you can't get no purchase on it. It just runs through your fingers.
So it
Do you
goes
know what I
through.
mean?
Oh,
Yeah, one of
so
those jobs.
you'd have to half fill the bath and then stomp it down the plug hole.
Yeah, that's it. Push it through the. Yeah, that's it. What?
Enjoy your bath, Andy. Kingpin says, how selfish of her to disrupt your routine. Well, we can't comment on that because we're here on a bloody Tuesday when it should be on a Monday. Connor says, we're winning the Champions League this season. Madrid, City, Liverpool, never heard of them. Reach for the stars. Reach for the stars by all means, but yeah, Arsenal aren't winning the Champions League. Dan says, you're in season 11 and you can't remember the wise words of Herschel.
No.
Fucking shocking.
No, that's very true. I apologise.
Andy says, living in Gloucester, The Walking Dead must be like a reality program. I bet there's been plenty of times you said, I know someone like that.
Actually, me and Sharon today, we nipped down to a local supermarket to go pick up some animal food and whatnot. And as we were sat in the ridiculous traffic that this certain part of Gloucester gets, there was someone who could be easily described as a standard resident of this part of Gloucester, because there are lovely parts of Gloucester. Sadly, I just don't live in one. He had dirty jeans, dirty top on. He'd obviously enjoyed a few adult beverages this afternoon and hadn't brushed his hair. And he was walking like a proper. And that's what I said to Sharon. Oh, do you want to watch The Walking Dead when we get home? Because it just reminded me of. So, and that literally happened. Sharon will testify in the chat that this is not made up. It genuinely happened today. So that's really ironic that Andy said that. Yeah.
To end it for now, Andy calls us animals for talking about stomping a poo into his drain pipe.
And a big congratulations as well, due, isn't it, to Andy and Bang Bang Podcast. By the time, this time next week, he will have released his 200th episode, Mags.
Really?
That's amazing, isn't it? What great work that is. And I messaged him last night, but I'll say it again now.
Good. Maybe he's like jumped the shark a bit and needed to knock it on the head a long time ago. But
just keep having breaks like we do, you mean?
Yeah. But he doesn't. He keeps going and getting terrible guest after terrible guest on. So I'd hate to see what knobhead is rocking up for episode 200.
It's you, isn't it?
It's fucking me. It is me.
Yeah. I think I'm on next week after maybe.
Yeah, you weren't even good enough for 200. You were 201.
There you go. But yeah, I mean that's incredible. Years of doing the podcast with a co-host, and the co-host leaves, arranging guests. Co-host comes back. Co-host takes a hiatus again. All the entertainment Andy's given us over the years. So yeah, as I said in the message last night, I'm going to say again to you, Andy, today. Awesome, mate. Fantastic. 200 episodes. That's amazing. And thank you so much for all the entertainment and the laughs over the years, my friend. It's been brilliant. Bang Bang Podcast. Bloody love it.
It's one of the best podcasts out there.
I won't go that far.
I mean, I'm trying to butter him. I've got a big tomorrow.
Magsy, what would you like to do first? Because you've got a little something that you do, a regular segment of your own. And I've got a couple of bits from the news I thought I might read and we could have a look at. So what do you want to do first?
Well, my regular segment is going back in the old Hulk Hogan talks out of his shitbox portion of the show. So have at it with what you want to talk about.
Okay, so we're going to do that last again? Or is it coming up in a minute?
No, last.
Okay.
Do you not remember that? I know it's been a while, but do you not remember this show? Hogan is a Liar was at the end. So
yeah, I remember that. But when we messaged earlier on, and very loosely discussed the format of today's episode, there was no mention of that segment whatsoever from you. You said you were doing something else.
I didn't at all.
You fucking did. All right, doesn't matter. Never mind. Anyway, shall we dive into these couple of news articles that I
Andy,
found?
if you're looking for a new co-host, I may be available.
During our hiatus, a couple of news stories popped up on my Facebook feed that I couldn't help but click on after reading the headline. What you got going on there, Max? What are you doing?
So my microphone keeps turning its sensitivity down. Don't buy a show microphone. They're annoying.
Yeah, because you are much louder now.
This thing here. See these dots?
Yeah.
They keep going down when they shouldn't.
I can tell literally just by the tone in your voice how irritated you are with that.
Yeah, it's annoys me because it's in my peripheral. So I can see there's like 6, 7 dots, and I can see them drop down to 3. And I'm like, stay fucking on 7 dots, you bank shaft.
Yeah, okay. Mine's just got a nice blue light. But that's neither here nor there.
And that keeps me entertained.
Yeah, if I mute it, it goes red. It's pretty cool. I still don't realise I'm on mute sometimes, though, but there we go. Yeah, so a couple of newspaper headlines. Well, not newspaper, they're online, I suppose. A couple of news headlines that tickled me, and I thought it'd be good for me to share them with your good self, Magsy, and the CWF, so people can be aware of what's going on in the world since we were last live. This headline comes from Nottinghamshire, which is a lovely part of the UK. Magsy, ooh.
It's like how I look at Gloucester, you look at Nottinghamshire like that, don't you? So I look down on you lot, and you look down. It's like the hierarchy.
Is that right? Yeah.
I think you are country bumpkins, and you think Nottingham people are the scum of the earth.
I was going to say they're not country bumpkins, are they? Nottingham. No, I don't think they got grass, have they? Don't they eat it all? Salad tonight. Nom nom. There's a snail in mine. Anyway, yeah, this is from Nottinghamshire on the BBC News website, and the headline reads, "Why does a plate of bananas appear on our street?"
This is the gimp all again, isn't it?
Oh, well, and honestly, it's as daft as it fucking sounds. A plate of 16 to 20, so not just 1 or 2, a substantial amount of 16 to 20 peeled bananas appear on a street in Beeston once a month. This is exactly what is happening in a small Nottinghamshire town. No one knows the reason behind the strange tradition. The mystery plate appears on the second day of every month on the corner of Abbey Road and Windsor Avenue in Beeston. Residents say it has been a constant in their lives for more than a year. So
that's 240 bananas.
Some really quick maths, Mags. Well done. The bananas appear in the early morning on the 2nd of the month. This is a local resident. I see them on my way to work. I'd love to know answers to this. Some people find it intriguing and interesting and humorous, but some people aren't so pleased with these fruits appearing out of anywhere, Magsy. Local resident Claire Short is one of these people who isn't too happy. She says she put up a sign to prevent the bananas coming back. Have a day off.
Went out of her way to make a sign, and she's shocked that it's been ignored.
Oh dear. Yeah, she put up a sign where the plate is left to deter the yellow fruit being left there again. On January the 2nd, however, another plate of peeled bananas arrived at the usual spot. And Claire continues, I've come to take my signs down now because I don't really want to make it like a feud. I don't want this to become a big thing.
But then why put a fucking sign up then?
Yeah, you spineless bitch. Stick to your guns. What are you doing? My word. Exactly. I think this is a special thing for someone, and I wish them well. Do you, Claire? Do you?
Clearly not. You made a sign saying, "Do not leave any more bananas here."
Yeah. If they could come back and clean up the mess a few days later, though, that would be lovely. I'm going to keep an eye on it and keep cleaning up the mess. So she's almost providing a service now, Claire, with her banana cleaning.
She is a busybody who thinks that she is the boss of the street.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking bananas alone, Claire, you nosy bitch.
26-year-old Josh Trentham says they are very annoying bananas. I have no idea why they're here. I love the way that this whole community is acting like it's affected them so badly.
This community have had a meeting in the town hall, haven't they? You can really tell, and trying to get down to who has put these bananas there.
Jill Dowling says it's so strange and disgusting. Someone puts it there, and I don't like it. Are we still talking about bananas there, Jill? Or anyway, resident Janet Hutchinson, 81, a more elderly resident, so obviously she's got more experience in life of dealing with fruits and vegetables. She said, the bananas are clearly just bought, and the wildlife doesn't touch them. They go mouldy. It's gross.
Then why not pick them up and then eat the bananas?
Well, this is it. She says herself they've just been purchased.
Yeah. I don't get the downside to this. Someone is providing that community free bananas in the cost of living that we are living in.
Yeah, once a month as well.
Bananas is free bananas.
It's just after payday, I suppose, isn't it? So that would make sense. And finally, we have a comment here from Adam Castle, aged 34, who I think summarises everyone's thoughts, Magsy, when he says, "What is this thing? It's strange." Thank you, Adam. But that was not all with the bananas, Mags, because a few days later, there was another headline on the BBC News website coming from Nottinghamshire that reads, and this is the headline on the BBC website, the British Broadcasting website, banana mystery deepens as more are spotted in the street. More bananas were found on the corner of Abbey Road and Wenston Avenue in Beeston. Another appealing mystery. Yeah, try harder. That's no good, is it? The mystery deepens after another plate of peeled bananas was left in leafy Nottinghamshire Street, but this one disappeared after just one night. According to residents, the fruity deposit arrives overnight between the 1st and the 2nd of each month, when about 16 to 20 peeled bananas are left out of the corner of this road, as we know, Maxie, from the previous article, don't we? However, this upset a couple of people, and there's a picture here. I don't know if I can zoom in enough for people to see. These two interesting-looking individuals just here, if you can make those out.
Yeah.
Just there. Yep, okay. Shut up. These are Luke Roberts and Jay Brewer, and they said that they live in Stroud, and they were very disappointed, Magsy, because they drove 3 hours from sorry, they live in Slough, not Stroud. They're a pair of weirdos, so that was a bit of a fraudulent slip there, thinking they lived in Stroud. They drove 3 hours from Slough to see the bananas on the Sunday morning they were supposed to be there, but somebody had already picked them up, giving them a wasted journey. We came at about 7 o'clock last night, said Mr. Roberts, and when we got here, there was no bananas. We were quite upset about this. Mr. Brewer added, we've explained our trip to our families. They don't think they don't really understand what we're doing. No. No. We've come back this morning and the bananas have gone. We're quite disappointed. I don't know what's worse, people leaving bananas out or people travelling... No, I do know what's worse. People travelling 3 hours to go and see a plate of bananas and then literally talking to the news because it's not there anymore.
And how much in fuel did they spend to go to see a plate of bananas?
Idiots.
They could have easily just bought a $5's worth of bananas themselves and set up a Slough edition of Banana Gate.
Yeah, that's true.
Spread this banana happiness around the country, like county by
like
county.
A copycat.
Yeah,
like a copycat. Yeah, not killer. That's the wrong term, isn't it? Copycat.
Like the copycat gimp.
Yeah, because a few of them popped. Perhaps it is the gimp leaving the bananas. Oh, I'd love it if that was the case. I'd love it if that was the final twist.
Somebody needs to stay up all night, hidden in the bushes, to spot the banana gimp.
The banana gimp in his yellow PVC suit.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get why people are complaining. I really don't understand it. I mean, even if you didn't want to eat suspicious-looking bananas from the middle of the road. Somebody might want to, or you can feed them to the local wildlife. I mean,
Well, they say that the wildlife don't touch them.
yeah, because they can't peel bananas.
What? No, the bananas are peeled.
Oh, you didn't say that. I
I
thought they
fucking
were
did.
Well, that's a different
No.
matter. Yeah, that is disgusting. Who wants to eat outdoor peeled bananas? So I'm now 180'd. I'm on Claire's side now. This is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, a line has been crossed now because there's 16 peeled bananas on a plate.
That makes it grim.
Yeah, okay. And finally, Magsy, one more little bit of news here. This is a lady named Maggie Duncan, and she shops at a well-known supermarket. And the headline reads, Aldi customer says she found bumhole in stewed steak tin. Not her own. Maggie Duncan, age 62, claims to have found what she says, and then we have little quotation marks, looks like a bumhole in her tin of stewed steak from Aldi. A sickened Aldi customer claims to have found what looks like a bumhole in her tin of stewed steak, and people quipped it was like a bush tucker trial. Maggie Duncan said she spotted an inch-long tube with a puckered end. An inch-long tube with a puckered end as she tipped the £2.9p tinned meal into a plastic container before heating it up on January the 8th. As the 62-year-old emptied the Aldi-owned brand meal and forked through the meat, she was sickened by the object that her equally horrified husband claimed looks like a chicken's anus.
I mean, there's questions to be asked there, isn't there?
Okay. Go on.
This was a tin of steak, you said.
The stewed steak, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a picture of the bumhole. Would you like to see the bumhole?
That might answer some questions.
It looks like that, apparently. If you can make that out.
Okay.
So,
Bit small
yeah,
for a cow's bum, I would have thought.
It's stewed steak, so why would a chicken bum be in it?
Yeah, and chicken's bums also don't look like that.
Do they not, Max? You know?
I know, because I have chickens.
Because I've got very specific videos.
No, chickens' bums are literally just a little slit. They have a very rudimentary digestive system. They don't have like all the innards that we have. So theirs is literally just a waterproof slit that opens and the poo fires out. So it's definitely not a chicken's bumhole. And so in steak, you would think it would be a cow's bumhole, but surely a cow's arse is going to be huge. The fucking ginormous.
In your obviously incredibly qualified, valued farmer's opinion, then what kind of bumhole was that?
It could have been it can't. I don't think it'd be a dog's or a cat's.
Okay.
What it could have been, maybe a pony's
goat.
Or a sheep. A sheep bumhole.
Yeah. A goat bumhole.
A goat bumhole, yeah.
Yeah.
But what would that be doing in a tin of steak?
Well, this is it.
Weird.
The mystery continues. It's almost as big a mystery as who's leaving a plate of bananas out. But there you go, Max. I thought a couple of weird stories that caught my attention whilst we've been away. You know, so let us know as well, people in the chat. And
because we would never have known about these horrific stories.
There you go. Let us know as well, people online. I'll attach the picture when the podcast version of the show comes out. Let us know what type of bumhole you think that is. At @chain_wrestling on Twitter.
In fact, that's next week's non-wrestling topic. If you opened a tin of steak, what kind of bumhole would you find in it?
There you go. The show writes itself. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shall we again scan quickly through the chat, or have we got somewhere else to go, or is it non-wrestling topic after this, Maxie?
We'll go through the chat first, and then I think it's non-wrestling topic. Could be.
Okie doke.
So Sharon says regarding the Walking Dead, that's not how it happened. She asked you if you wanted to.
That's right. That's right. And I said, did that
Telling
bloke
lies
there
all
who
the
looks like a zombie? Did he just make you think of The Walking Dead? That's what I said. Yeah, I remember that.
King Pigbatter says he's on Bang Bang podcast at some point. Well, I'm sorry for your loss, sir. Then Morty, almost in a Mystic Meg style, says, "What up, stinky butts?" That was before we even got to the tin steak butthole. So that you just blow me away with that, Morty. Amazing. And King Pigbatter says to Andy, "What a nice guy Bobby Cash is, by the sounds of it." And then he says, "The Nottinghamshire is his neck of the woods again." Then sorry for your loss, sir.
He used to work
He caveats
in.
it.
Okay, go on. Oh, he used to work in a supermarket as well, so he'd have had quite easy access to bananas.
Interesting. And then he says he's a Cornishman in Nottingham. So you really downgraded. Jesus Christ. That's horrific. And then King Pigbatter says he's read that story. It's been going on for years.
Yeah.
I mean, the supermarket's going to be buzzing about it because they know that every month they're going to sell a big quarter of bananas.
Yeah.
They'll be like, somebody loves their potassium.
What happens if there's a banana shortage? Would you just switch fruit?
Maybe plantain or at a push, peaches.
Kiwi? 16 kiwis?
Kiwis are grim.
Don't you like a kiwi? I enjoy a kiwi.
Yeah, the fur. It's the fur.
You don't eat the fur.
I don't care. It's just, it feels like a ball, doesn't it?
Okay.
Do you know, you pick one up and it's furry. Yeah, no, that's not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
Dan says to King Pig Brothers, Bobby Cash is a bloody good egg. And then Connor, hashtag Bananagate. Dan says, putting up the sign is he's a surefire way of bananas coming back because they got the attention that they wanted. Yep. If you'd have left it, then they'd have probably moved on to another street that would have given the attention. But Carol or Karen, whatever your fucking name were, you daft cow, you give them the attention they wanted, so they were always going to target you. King Pigana says, this one street isn't happy. It's big news. I bet they've got a WhatsApp group that they talk all about it in. Yeah, WhatsApp groups have been big news recently. My local MP, Oliver Ryan, suspended from the Labour Party for being a bit of a knobhead in a WhatsApp group. So that's fun.
Oh, really? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's national news. You're not interested in that. You're interested in the local news.
I want to know about bum holes in tins of steak, damn it.
King Pig Banner says people in Slough are odd. I mean, people in the Midlands are odd in general, aren't they? And then he says, no, I refuse. I am not staking out the banana street in the name of Did it mention the street name? Yeah, it did, didn't it? It says on the corner.
Yeah, Abbey Road and something else in Beeston.
Go on, Pigs Banners. You know you want to.
Do it, mate. We know the date it arrives, so why not?
Yeah. It's not, I mean, you don't have to just go, let's say, 11 o'clock on the 1st.
Yeah.
Stay parked in your car and then stay there till about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. You'll find out who Banana Man is.
See, that's the difference, I think, between me and you. Because your mindset was you could stay in your car. My mindset was take a camping chair and a case of beer.
Out in the bushes.
And just wrap up well.
Oh, Dan says, any money King Pig Banners is on Photoshop now, making up a banana gimp artwork. I mean, that wouldn't be that hard. I think even I, with my rudimentary skills, could get a picture of a gimp and then just palette swap it for a yellow. There, so win.
Or in my head, I'm thinking of Banana Man, but Banana Man gimped up
with his banana out, peeled, ready,
with a plate of peeled bananas and a tin of stewed steak with a bum hole in it.
Yep. But also
there's a t-shirt in that.
Yeah. King Pig Brother says she didn't tell anyone because they'd all want a cow's bumhole too. Dan says calamari ring piece. I mean, it did look a little calamari-ish, but very puckered. She was right. It was very puckered. I wonder if she's tried like fingering it.
Why would you do that?
Just checking. King Pig Brother, very dark. Perhaps a worker fell into the canning machine.
Well, that's changed the tone of the show, hasn't it? Eh? Fuck you now.
Dan says, don't know about chickens, but I do know that pigeons die after sex. Or at least the one I saw Trump fucking did. Daniel.
Is that when you were coming through Gloucester?
I mean, it's just a normal occurrence in your neck of the woods. King Pig says it's only a few miles away, and he is now doing the banana gimp. So,
fantastic.
So we've got a win out of it. We've got a win out of it.
Banana Man, cape and all. Yeah, awesome stuff, mate. Awesome stuff. Well, as always, thank you so much, everybody, for jumping in the chat and joining us here on the live show. Magsy, shall we get into a slightly old non-wrestling topic?
We shall. I mean, it is very out of date, but let's go for it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Non-wrestling topic time.
Good God Almighty, there will be no wrestling talk here. Business is about to pick up on chain wrestling. Side Lord Max, please cut it out.
Are you sitting comfortably?
You see that?
Look at that. No messing about.
Pig Flatter's straight on it there. A gimpy banana. Fantastic stuff. I have retweeted that for those on the audio podcast version. If you want to go check it out and see Pig Splatter's fantastic work. That is glorious. Well done, mate. Well done.
In seconds, though. In seconds.
It didn't take long at all, did it? Fair play. This week's one, no. That's a fucking lie. Not this week's non-wrestling topic. Last month's non-wrestling topic when we were last on the show was, because it was so close to New Year, it was going to be about your predictions for 2025. And they could be as serious or as fucking stupid as you wish. And we had quite a mixed bag come into us, Magsy, didn't we?
I don't know, because I've not even checked them.
Have you not?
No. So, yeah, we did then, Sam. Just eclectically mixed.
Brilliant. So some of these are from mid-January, and some of them are from what we've had in today, when I woke up this afternoon. I actually woke up and thought to myself, shit, we better retweet that non-wrestling topic to make sure that we know what we're doing. So we've got a few more that came in this afternoon, as professional and as organised as ever. We begin, Magsy, and as always, I will read them out in the order they came into us. We begin with Mr. Benny Mack, my co-host on the Waiting Room podcast, every Wednesday via SJP World Media, looking at Quantum Leap. Benny says, I believe in 2025 that we will have a chicken coop match between Mags and Si and prove who is the greatest cock of all.
I mean, I would admit defeat in that straight away, because it's definitely Si. He is the biggest cock. But he also can't really get involved in the match because he doesn't have any chickens or a chicken coop. So he'd have to be disqualified. So we'll call it a draw at best.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough, mate. That's fair enough. Dan Griffin, at Dan Griffin21 on Twitter, he says, stuff will happen in WWE and AEW. Well, thanks, Dan. Brilliant. Thank you for your
happened this week with a lot of releases. So yeah, you fucking nailed that, Dan.
You can't say he's wrong, can you? No, Dan says, stuff will happen in WWE and AEW, and twats online will bleat about it tediously rather than enjoying what they like and ignoring what they don't. And he is spot on, isn't he? Because it's already happened.
It's absolutely nailed it, because every week there has been stuff between WWE and AEW that people have hated and have complained about.
Yes, indeed. Dan also continues, who again, Dan is my co-host on the Doctor Who pod. He says here, Doctor Who will return, which he's right. It's returning, Max. It's back in April. He's nailing these, isn't he? He's like Mystic Meg, isn't he? Doctor Who will return, and Sai will slowly start coming around to Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, but not fully appreciate him until 5 years from now. Oh, that last one. Swing and a miss, I'm afraid. That's not going to work for me.
You can't beat his racism. Not that quick.
It's not oh my God, don't say that. It's not about that.
I meant Gatwa's racism towards you.
Oh, yeah. I was desperately trying to think of a racist slur that I would get called as a white man, but then I thought I better leave that well alone. To be fair, this is not good territory to be entering into.
You don't want to poke that me out.
Let's leave that alone. At Pig's Bladders, our gimpy banana creator himself, he says, insert wrestler's name here, has been uncovered to be A, and then select all that apply. Racist, abusive, bigot, or other.
Well, we've got one of the 4 so far, so you're doing really well.
And what was that? Sorry, what was that?
So, one of the Bear team in AEW, is it Bear Bronson? He turns out he likes to smack his missus about, doesn't he? So,
piece of shit.
Yeah, what a tosser.
What a tosser. You'll be able to use this quote at least 3 times in the coming year, Pig's Bladder says. I think he's been a bit reserved.
Nailed one already.
Yeah. Also, Pig's Bladder says, Marty Jannetty's health concerns will continue until he chooses to just become a head in a jar. And we've got a wonderful image there from Pig's Bladders again. Yeah.
I don't think he'd ever choose that. I think he'd choose death over jar.
Yeah.
How can you make moves on your stepdaughter if you have no genitals to make moves with?
This is true. This is very true. And as always is the way on this show. Fuck Marty Jannetty. Yes. Connor Knows Soccer on Twitter, at Connor Knows Footy on Twitter, sorry. He says, 2025 will be my year content creating wise. I think that I will have more fun and be relaxed while doing it.
That's brilliant. I mean, no time like the present to start doing that. I am a little bit disappointed in you, Connor, because you did post one that me and Sar discussed, and then you fucking deleted it.
Yes, because he got his wires crossed a little bit, Magsy, didn't he?
He did, but it was fun. And then he deleted it.
Was, yeah, effectively, when we said we would like your predictions for 2025, we would like your predictions for 2025, Connor read that as ask us anything. I can see how he gets confused because the wording is so similar. Yeah, but there we go. And Connor also says,
be in your bonnet for Connor today.
Well, the first thing he does is come on and have a dig about United. Wind your fucking neck in, lad. Connor also says Ohio State will win the 2025 National Championship. Yeah. So Ohio State, is that college football? Yeah, like NFL, but the college teams. Is that right?
I think so, because the graphic he's put up does say 66-yard touchdown run. So I'm assuming
okay. That. Yeah, I've got no dog in that fight, so yeah. Crack on Ohio State. I guess. Not. I don't know. Or not.
As the may be.
Again, like I said, I've got no dog in that fight. I don't care.
Nope.
So, did you watch Super Bowl, Magsy, whilst we're on the topic of American football?
I didn't because I forgot it was on. But I did see the clips of Kendrick Lamar singing his Grammy Award-winning diss track about Drake being a paedophile live on the Super Bowl, which is absolutely amazing.
I've got no idea who Kendrick Lamar is.
He's arguably the best rapper alive today.
He's the best, is he? Well, that's a shame.
Wow. Why is it a shame?
Well, if that's the best they've got to offer, then that's obviously a declining musical talent, isn't it?
No. He's very, very clever with his lyrics.
Yeah.
He's like the Shakespeare of rap.
Okay. Does he have brilliant, amazing lyrical talents like Vanilla Ice, for example, when he talks about slapping MCs?
Vanilla Ice didn't even write his own music. He said he cooks MCs like a pound of bacon. Vanilla
There you go.
Ice.
Yeah, it's a lot of bacon, isn't it? A pound.
It's
a lot of bacon. To be honest, I'm a bit concerned then about Vanilla Ice's cholesterol.
Well, I'm sure he'll duly note those concerns.
No, I think we should reach out to him. I'll do that in time for next week's show. Steve-O at EliteFPL_Steve-O on Twitter. I prefer Steve-O's old Twitter handle because it was easier for me to say. But yeah, here we are, Steve-O. And Steve-O says his predictions are to hopefully leave London and restart life back in Devon.
I mean, it's a goal.
Yeah.
Why people live in London is beyond me because it's shit.
Yeah, fair point. Steve-O continues. Burnley to never concede a goal this year is his prediction.
I mean, it's likely.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say we have got the best defence in the country.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, by far. Like, better than all the Premier League by a long way. And with,
amazing.
I think it's now 10 games unbeaten we've gone. So,
wow, okay. Well, again, don't concede goals, can't lose games.
The issue is scoring a lot of goals, but
okay.
getting there. I think we're definitely coming back up.
Good. I'm glad. I like Burnley. Steve-O continues on that note as well, saying Burnley to break the world record for most 0-0s and 1-0 results.
1-0 is the same amount of points as if you got 10. So win.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously goal difference does come into things, but when you really look at history of football, I mean, winning a league title, I can remember once the league title was decided on goal difference in my lifetime as a football fan. Our Premier League era, I suppose. It did happen, didn't it, towards the end of the Football League era as well. So it's not very often.
No, exactly. And if you get it done, it doesn't matter how many goals you get. It's the point the most important thing.
This is it, mate. This is it. Steve-O also says the bill to come back after 15 years off air. I'd be up for that, even though I never watched it first time.
And a new revamp the bill. Yeah.
I mean, have the same music.
And the same two people walking up the cobbled street.
Yeah. How old would they be now? Because was that the beginning video on the very first episode?
I think it was. They ended up getting rid of it like late into the run. I don't think it was there all the time, but
okay.
I think it started at the very beginning.
It would be great.
It was at the end,
it
was at the credits. I don't think it was at the beginning. The beginning was like a flash of all the characters doing police-related activities. And then the end credits was the male and the female copper walking down the street.
Okay. Yeah, if they could get the same two people again, just for old time's sake, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, provided they're able to.
The other in a wheelchair.
Well, yeah. Or you'd have a Zimmer frame. If one's passed away, they could wheel the coffin. It'd be difficult on the cobbles. I appreciate that, but I'm sure they could figure something out.
She fell. She's all fell. No, heads rolled down the road.
Oh, the smell.
I can see her bubble. Let's get that in a steak.
It looks like a chicken's. Steve-O also says Steve Merchant and Ricky Gervais teaming up for a new sitcom. And trust me, this will sadly never happen. Do they not get along or something then?
No, I think they do. It's just Ricky Gervais is just a very, very rich, and Stephen Merchant isn't. So they don't
Okay.
hang in the same circles, I suppose. I think Gervais lives in America now, doesn't he?
Right. Okay. Okay. Steve-O also says Burnley to beat a team where someone other than Fleming and Brownhill score.
Yeah. But if it's 1-0, it doesn't matter who scores.
Yeah, exactly. And Steve-O also predicts for the coming year. I'm not sure that this could happen within the next, 11 months now, we're saying, is it? A chain wrestling meetup and live recording.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, every episode is a live recording, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, so we've done that now.
Yeah. So he's half right.
It doesn't.
But
Yeah.
the meetup needs to happen sooner rather than later. So I
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few.
A window.
Super kick me through the window. There's been a few like meetups of people in our little community, hasn't there? But not a complete one, Magsy, because you're never there.
No. I just don't like any of the people in the group.
Right. Okay. I think for that to work,
I'm an outlier. I'm just not ever available.
Yeah, I was going to say for that to work, I think the meetup would have to take place in your front garden.
Even then,
for you, even then,
I can't guarantee I'll turn up.
Just draw the curtains. Oh dear.
I'll turn the sprinklers on.
Set the dogs out. This isn't a prediction. This is just a nice hello from somebody, Magsy. Chris Mangle at Mangle_Chris on Twitter.
Where's he been?
It came up on our Twitter feed. At Chris Mangle retweeted your tweet, so he's sharing the non-wrestling topic for people to get involved with. So I tweeted him. It's not tweet anymore, is it? Is it I X'd him? What is that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I tweeted him.
Nazi saluted him.
What?
Yeah, that's Elon Musk's thing now, isn't it? Doing Nazi salutes.
Oh,
no,
right,
Elon Musk's thing is now doing Nazi salutes. So.
Yeah.
So you saluted him.
Chris Mangle retweeted it, so I said, hello, mate, hope you're well. And he said back, I'm doing okay, thanks, which is great to hear. Everything is all fine.
More than one word?
Yeah.
And no, that's a different person. I'm on about Jimmy. I thought you meant Jimmy.
Yeah. No, Chris Mangle, all the way from Ramsey Street. Remember, we used to make that same joke every fucking week.
Yeah.
Because
and I remember
we're nothing if not,
And he blocked me repetitive. And then unblocked. I remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did block you, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Chris also said, I don't have any predictions.
I don't blame him. Thanks for playing, Chris.
Yeah, no, that's great. Good to hear from you, Chris. Cheers, mate. Awesome stuff. Connor knows footy one more time. He says the Crew will win a major trophy this season. What, Motley Crue? I'm not sure they will. I don't think any of them can run.
Yeah,
They're all in their late
Tommy
50s.
Lee's in defence.
Yeah. I mean, Mick Mars is crippled.
Columbus Crew.
And then Connor concludes this with, meaning himself, I will find love. More delusional than a prediction, though, he says. Oh, Connor, don't talk like that, mate.
Come on, Connor. You are unlovable. Inherently unlovable, sir.
Fucking hell. Why?
No, you will find love. There's somebody out there for everyone. You just may have to lower your standard.
Well, yeah. You can't be too picky, can you? That's the thing.
That's it, Connor. You're too picky.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have another gimpy banana, for want of a better phrase, from our good friend Pigs Butters. I can just hold that up to the screen there for people to see. Can you make that out? Look at that. That's got a cape.
Brilliant. Now it's a real superhero.
And I'll retweet that as well for everybody to see. There we go. At @chain_wrestling. Of course, there is all of our non-wrestling topic that I have, Magsy. Thank you so much, everyone, as always, for messaging into the show. A bit broken up and backwards, and Barry's better than Barry Windham again. You love that little ticker tape thing, don't you? You're so happy with yourself.
Never ever delete that.
Barry Gaspar. Oh dear me. Okay, so there we go. That is the non-wrestling topic. Once again, thank you so much, everybody who has been involved, messaged the show, and so on. Awesome stuff. Make sure you're keeping your ears peeled, as Maxie said, on our social medias to find
ground.
out your eyes to the ground and your eels. Yeah, peel your eels. Nobody likes a skin covered eel, do they?
That might be
make
what
sure
it
you're
were. That might be what the puckered bumhole was. A skinned eel.
an eel's bumhole.
No, the eel. I don't know. Does an eel? An eel is probably all bumhole. It's very long and
Is
slender,
it?
isn't it?
But the one end should be a face. Do eels have faces?
Yeah, of course they have faces.
Yeah, that's what.
What do
Yeah,
you
so
mean?
it can't all be bumhole then, can it?
Well, 95% a bumhole with a face on them.
Bumhole with a face on it.
We're getting creepy now.
Yeah. Pig splatters, do not get involved in that one. Leave that well alone. Leave that well alone. Yeah, again, for like the fourth attempt, thank you everyone for replying to the non-wrestling topic, etc., etc., etc. Max, let's just move on, shall we? What have we got in the chat, my friend?
We're not saying what we predict or anything like that, no, buzzing.
Yeah, let's do it then.
No, you've ruined it now. In the chat, got to go all the way back. See, you've read this now. Where have I gone?
You've wrecked this now.
No, we've read this one, haven't we? Where Dan watches tramps shagging pigeons.
Yeah.
There's not much else
to
do in York. There's not much else to do in York. Kingpin Bag is confirming he was doing a picture and he's done one with no cape. Dan gets very upset. Got to have a cape. You need it not for flying. You don't need it to show that you're a superhero. You need it to clean up mushy banana.
Yeah.
Then Kingpin's Banner says fine, but in the Incredibles, they already said that capes are bad. Yeah, and they even proved why. Because capes get trapped in plane engines, and the superhero gets sucked in. So
is that a likely occurrence? Does that happen often?
Well, it shows it. One of the ex superheroes gets sucked into a plane engine and ends up dying. So yeah, it does happen. I mean, we're talking about fucking superheroes, sir. Superheroes that aren't actually real. So yes,
ask the ratio of cape wearing superheroes to superheroes who die in airplane related accidents, it's got to be quite low.
I mean, it's a made up thing, sir. They're not real. So in reality, it's never happened in the history of the world.
It's safe. It's safe as ages, then, isn't it? If it's never happened, it proves my point.
In Superman, he didn't spin the world backwards to reverse time. That wasn't a real thing. No,
because that's not how time travel works.
Oh, right. Well, that's not how capes work. It's not how superheroes work. Oh. New Gimp Banana available. Thanks, Pigs Bladders, for just carrying this on. We appreciate it. Connor says he sent you a message that the night we did win the national title. Oh, yeah. I bet you didn't reply to it.
It depends what time he messages me. Because we're at different time zones, isn't it?
Did you read the message?
I remember that now. I recall the message now, so yeah.
And then he says, best defense in the championship, only to get promoted and straight back down. Do you see that, Connor? That's for you.
Oh, throwing shade at you as well, now. He's a boisterous young lad today, isn't he?
Defended him. I hope you don't find love now. I hope you just cry and use your tears as lubricant. So, sorry about that, Connor. Kingpin's Banner says he's posted the secondary Gimp Banana.
Yes, we have seen.
Dan says you sexted Chris Mangle. Yes, he did.
I did. Those images are hot.
And then Kingpin Banner, holy bumholes, Batman. I bet Robin had a slack bumhole. Did he?
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of times Batman shafted Robin, definitely. Because he was gay. Batman was, especially the Adam West version, that was a very camp Batman, weren't it?
Yeah, the whole thing was pretty camp, yeah.
And they were
The utility
clumped
belt
together.
full of sex toys and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. He definitely did have a bat dildo,
Dildo.
a bat strap on.
That would chafe whichever way you put it in, wouldn't it? When you think about the design of it.
Oof! Can you imagine it going in the wrong way though, and the edges of the wings catching and
Hooking.
implanted in? Yeah,
Yeah, and then when you're putting it out, you're literally ripping your insides out, aren't you?
yeah, like a bee.
Like a bee?
Yeah. So like when a bee stings you,
yeah,
the stinger's got like reverse barbs, so they'll stick in your skin and it pulls the guts of the bee out.
Oh yeah. Really badly designed weapon for a bee, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, I will defend with all my life. Sting and dead.
Yeah. I think God or whoever created bees really dropped the ball on that one.
Well, I mean, how did he make a big ball of fluff fly anyway?
Well, this is true.
Make any sense. They're not streamlined, are they?
No, they're not.
So
no, they're not. And on that note, I suppose a public safety notice: be careful which direction you insert your bat-shaped dildos. Magsy, shall we talk a bit of wrestling?
Yeah, please. Let's get this done and bloody dusted.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Okay. So I was having some of my rather lovely orange Vimto.
Lovely. So it's scrumptious.
I've also noticed as well that my little what do you call it? The little thing that you put on a table to put. No. That you put on a table. just a family dinner. What? There you go.
Eat up, and we've got bumholes for pudding.
No, I mean the little thing you put on a desk and put your drink on it.
Coaster.
Yeah, a coaster. That's it. Yes, a coaster. I was going to say beer mat, but that's not right, is it?
It's genuinely the dark ages down in Gloucester, isn't it?
I was going to say beer mat, but that's not the same thing, is it? That's just. Sharon got some really cool ones. They're like little mini records.
Oh,
and they look amazing. Yeah, but it's gone. I don't know. The cats took it, I think.
What is the cat going to do with a record coaster?
Don't even start me off. That cat, mate, honestly, it takes all sorts of shit, I swear. Things just go missing from my desk and there's cat prints everywhere. Drives me mad.
Our cat, I mean, I know this is not wrestling related and we're very clear off topic, but our cat has a tendency to go out night killing. And to get back in
a knife.
She may as well. And she's figured a way of getting herself back in the house when it's all been locked up for the night. So my bedroom faces over the conservatory. So she's figured out she can learn to climb up the conservatory, jump onto our bedroom windowsill, and just paw at the window and meow until one of us lets her in. So she did that a couple of nights ago, and I let her in. I opened the window, and she scampered back down to the corner of the conservatory. So I was like, come on, cat. I'm not standing here all night waiting for you to come in. So she comes in, and I spotted that she had something in her mouth, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I'm not getting involved in this. Don't tell the wife. Don't wake her up because she'll want to know what the cat's doing. So I let the cat out and she ran downstairs. It turned out she brought a mouse in.
Oh, fantastic.
And she was throwing it about downstairs. So I think I mentioned in an episode before that we've literally refloored the whole house. So it's all like wood floored now. And you could hear her throw this mouse. I mean, the mouse was dead. She wasn't torturing it whilst it was alive, but she was throwing this mouse around and you could hear it splatting against the floor and against the walls. That cat is a psychopath, an actual human, a cat, not a human, a cat psychopath.
Yeah, If that was a human doing that, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah. But yeah, she's a cow. She's an actual cow.
Yeah.
She catches frogs. She brings frogs in.
Oh, they scream, don't they, frogs?
Well, not when she brings them in because they're pretty dead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing then, because you don't want a screaming frog in your house at night time, do you? Or at daytime, I suppose.
No, but you also don't want any frog in your house,
No.
especially when its guts are hanging out mangled by a cat.
There was a frog in our house the other day. Was it the other day? Sharon's in the chat. She'll let us know. When I say the other day, my timeline of my memory is a bit patchy, as people are aware. So it might have been like a couple of months back.
Because you remember telling Sharon that you wanted to watch Walking Dead, and when it was really she told you.
Yeah, it was her. Yeah. But we were sat downstairs. No, I came downstairs, and Sharon and Liv were both sat on the sofa, and there was just a fucking frog in the middle of the front room. Not dead. A cat hadn't just fucking sat there.
The cats were just sat around enjoying the frog's company.
Also, just what the fuck are you doing here, pal? You don't. This is not a frog environment. What are you doing? You know.
Anyway, shall we get to the wrestling?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Haven't we done that?
Yeah, but I just thought we'd do a refresh.
Okay, in case I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
Maxie, you won the poll, didn't you? With your wonderful selection.
I can't remember back what happened last year.
Yeah, you won the poll, Maxie, with your wonderful selection of. In the past, we've looked at Bret Hart's 1993. Well, I've worded that wrong. Bret Hart's glorious 1993 King of the Ring run and eventual win. The fantastic matches he put on in that pay-per-view. The following year, Bret's little bro did the same thing, didn't he? Owen went on to go and win King of the Ring. And your option on the poll was to check out all 3 matches from Owen's run and eventual win of King of the Ring 1994. So that is what we're going to do, because that's what the people voted for, Max.
This pathetic people, that's why.
I can't remember what my option was. What was my option?
Something rubbish. Something from the dark ages that you can only find on Daily Motion now.
Yeah, fucking WWE fucking network stuff. Anyway, this pay-per-view is... Well, there's a couple of differences to it, isn't there? A few odd little things going on. The commentary team is one I want to talk about first of all. We have...
I mean,
it's not just...
I don't even know who he is.
He was an American footballer, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he knew nothing about wrestling. So this is Art Donovan. He genuinely knew nothing at all about wrestling. I don't get why he was there.
Nor do I. I don't know if it's. I don't think it is still on there. But quite famously, there was a line he said once during commentary of either this show or if he appeared on a Raw or something or did an interview, where he genuinely said the line, "This is great acting." It's like, ooh.
Oh,
I think that was removed after the live broadcast, but yeah. So you have him, and then you have Gorilla Monsoon, and then you have Randy Savage. Now, I can't remember Randy. I mean, take Art Donovan out of it for now, because he's just an anomaly, isn't he? He's not involved in whatever. But I can't remember many pay-per-views where Monsoon and Savage worked together. Am I just drawing a blank here mentally? Did it happen more than I remember?
If they did, I can't remember any. I like both of them as separate commentators, but I don't think they work well together. There are lots of periods that nobody takes the lead and there's no commentary whatsoever, and then someone will chime in with a random comment just to fill the airspace. I think that Gorilla... Yeah, I think Gorilla got pissed off with Art Donovan pretty quickly because he very rarely answered his questions, which meant it was left to Savage to basically talk with Art, and you could tell he was getting a bit fucked off with being asked the same question over and over, because Art Donovan was obsessed with the weight of every single wrestler.
It was ridiculous.
Even though the ring announcer said the weight of every wrestler, when they came to the ring, he would then ask, how much does this wrestler weigh? How much does he weigh? And everything he tried to link every wrestler back to football. And it was just fucking annoying. He was an idiot.
It's Ross's job, obviously.
Yeah. He's a pillock. What a pillock he was.
Yeah.
He does. Normally, commentators can enhance the show. He fucking ruins the show. And this show didn't need any help being ruined. Let me tell you.
Well, there's a lot of shit on here, isn't there? This pay-per-view, if you watch the whole thing, it's hard work. But I think we're quite lucky because Owen Hart is like the shining light of this pay-per-view, isn't he? He's a bright spark in what is a pretty turgid, dark scenario for me.
I mean, we'll get there. We'll get to my thoughts on it.
Okay. We begin with Owen's first opponent in the quarterfinals. He is taking on the Native American Tatanka. The first thing I noticed about Tatanka is that all those years of dyeing just the top bit of his hair red has obviously damaged his hair because he's thinning out quite a bit, isn't he?
Yes, I mean this is after he turned heel, though, wasn't it?
No, not yet. Wasn't that going into 95?
Oh, I thought he'd stopped dyeing his hair red when he turned evil.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, or maybe it was then. I don't because it wasn't it. No, because it was him and Luger.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
joining DiBiase's Million Corporate, and everyone thought Luger was going to turn, but it ended up being Tatanka. Swerve.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit later, wasn't it?
So it's still facey here a little bit.
Yeah.
But either way, Tatanka gets a big crowd pop. So,
well, yeah, he was always quite popular, wasn't he?
Yeah, I always, as a kid, I always remember liking Tatanka. Even though you look back at it now and the gimmick is a bit 80s, isn't it? But he was a solid wrestler, and it was easy to cheer for.
Yeah. There you go. We've never covered a Tatanka match before, have we?
Yeah, well, we had
I
to.
don't think we'll cover many.
Is there any memorable ones?
No, he had a long undefeated streak, didn't he? That was like his gimmick. He was a Native American who can't be beat or something.
Yeah, and then he got beat once, and then was a jobber for the rest of his career.
Yeah, wasn't it Ludwig Borger that beat him?
Yeah, Ludwig Borger, who ended up being a Nazi Borger.
Yeah, he was a crazy bastard as well. Mind the new series of Dark Side of the Ring. I've got an episode on Ludwig Borger coming up, and he was insane. He tried to kill people and all sorts of shit, didn't he?
I did for another podcast. I did a bit of a deep dive on him. He was an MMA fighter, a genuine Nazi. Had a Nazi tattoo. He was a politician in Finland. Then he was an alcoholic and got addicted to drugs while still being a politician. He took a gun into Parliament, I think, and then he did.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Unaliving himself, so he had an interesting life.
Indeed. No Ludwig Borger to discuss here, though, thankfully. We begin and go outside pretty quickly. And as is the way in these King of the Ring matches, the early matches are relatively short, Magsy, aren't they? Because they want to just, apart from Bret's run.
Yeah, and this is going to be a thing for me that we're going to have to compare this with the year before, and I don't see a way that Owen comes out of this looking as good as Bret did, because he just doesn't get the time that Bret gets. I mean, you add up all of Owen's ring time in his King of the Ring tournament, and one of Bret's matches is the same amount of time as all of Owen's 3 matches. So I think WWF did him a little bit dirty on this.
100%. You look at the rest of the card, Like the King of the Ring 93 was built around Bret Hart. And according to Bret in various interviews, he was told this was going to happen to sort of soften the blow of losing the world title and the whole Hogan nonsense at WrestleMania. And it was going to build to Bret Hogan potentially at WrestleMania. At SummerSlam before they dropped the belt to Yoko and so on. This King of the Ring tournament, the tournament itself isn't given the time because you've still got Bret versus Diesel for the world title. And then you've also got Jerry Lawler versus Roddy Piper in one of the worst wrestling matches of all time that goes far too fucking long in your main event spot. So the tournament itself is just given hardly any time at all, Max, isn't it? And you got a tag match in there as well, I think, haven't you?
It's just I see what WWF were getting at. They wanted to push Owen as being as good as Bret, that they are two generational talents. And then they also had all this kind of sibling rivalry thing bubbling under the surface. It absolutely made sense for Owen to emulate what Bret did the year before. But they don't give him much to work with. He looks in pretty much all of the matches as a cowardly kind of underdog who gets beat up for the majority of the time and then ekes out victories. Whereas Bret, he told 3 different stories in 3 different matches, wrestled 3 different styles and won in 3 different ways. He carried that pay-per-view on his back and made it must-watch wrestling. Owen doesn't get that respect in this, and I think it's it doesn't shine him in a good light.
Obviously, you got the difference in that Bret was a super over babyface, and Owen here is a heel, and they're trying to elevate him to take on Bret in the world title picture for SummerSlam and all that sort of stuff. So you got the differences there, but you're right. I don't think that.
I understand that point, but we're talking about Owen, who even Bret admitted that Owen was the more naturally gifted wrestler, where Bret was a technician. Owen had the flair. He could do a lot more wrestling styles. He was a high flyer. He could brawl with the best of them, and he was arguably better on the mark than Bret was. So he could have potentially been the best Hart wrestler that there ever was. But this didn't help with that at all. This made him look like he almost won this tournament by default because there was nobody else, which I don't think it makes him look as good as he could have done.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. And this opening match is very throwaway, I think, isn't it? It's let's get the win for Owen and move him on. We go outside quite early. Tatanka is sent into the post. Owen Hart hits a suplex and a top rope dropkick. And then we go into a chin lock and a sleeper from Owen. But I mean, I'm not slagging this off. Everything they do looks good. Everything they do is tight. Is good. But it's nothing spectacular. Which again, if you're wrestling 3 times that night, I can understand why Owen would potentially do that. Tatanka hits a DDT after doing his little skip around the ring. His version of hulking up, I suppose, isn't it? It's how he used to get all the adrenaline pumping, shall we say. Yeah, and then he'd hit his top rope tomahawk chop, I think was the finisher, wasn't it? But that only gets a 2. A power slam also gets a 2 count before a sunset flip attempt gets countered, and Owen gets the win in the same finish that Bret Bulldog did at SummerSlam '92 with the sunset flip and the counter with the legs and so on. Solid match for me, Max. Nothing spectacular, but nothing shite. Pretty solid.
Yeah, it felt almost like a house match.
Okay, yeah.
Or maybe a dark match, or one of the matches that they have on after a Raw taping, just to send the crowd home happy, kind of thing. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just all the wrestlers getting the moves. But what I didn't like was that Owen got very little in the terms of offense. This was 90% controlled by Tatanka, and then Owen eked out the victory, and that it doesn't start him off on the best of footings to say he's going to emulate what his brother did the year before. But he won, and we move on to the next match.
Oh, are we going to rank these out of 10 and then give our overall afterwards?
I mean, we can.
I think that's how we did Bret, isn't it?
Yeah. So this match, I would say, is a 4. Nothing horrific, but nothing to write home about.
So I got 5 for this one because it is just middle of the road, pretty solid. Nothing, like you said, nothing spectacular, but nothing bad. So yeah. Next in the semi-finals, we have Owen Hart taking on Sean Waltman, or the 1-2-3 Kid, as he is known here. The Kid had been beaten up quite badly earlier in the night, so there was talk on commentary about whether he was even going to turn up for the semi-final. But in true babyface fashion, he does.
And I did like the fact that they let his music almost play out, and they did the camera into the entrance and the smoke clearing, and he still wasn't there. And then they cut away to the crowd, and all of a sudden he's turning up. That really made him look like a true underdog babyface. I really like that. They made Kid look very sympathetic.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And it starts very quickly, doesn't it? There's fighting on the outside. There's
it starts
and
ends quickly. This match was one of those matches where you can't take a breath. You don't get very long to process what's actually happening in the match because they go at such a good pace.
Indeed. We have a top rope splash and a moonsault from the 1-2-3 Kid. They both get 2 counts. Then we go into lots of wrist lock exchanges. But when I say that makes it sound like we've got like holds or we're resting. No, they are flipping out of the wrist lock and then going into another wrist lock and flipping out of that one and so on. Yeah, it's great stuff. It's great stuff. There's a pretty good looking suplex with a neck bridge from the 1-2-3 Kid. Gets a 3 count, but Owen is in the ropes. I quite enjoyed that, Magsy. That was quite nice.
It was really well timed as well by Owen. And Kid thinks he's won the match, and then the ref has to tell him, nope, his foot just got to the ropes. And then Art Donovan didn't understand the fucking point of ropes, so Macho Man had to essentially explain it to him that he'd hooked the rope at the last second because Art is a twat.
And how much do the ropes weigh? Was probably running through his mind. We have a nice flippy, divey effort from the ring to the outside from the 1-2-3 Kid again. And then he attempts a leapfrog when we're back in the ring, which Owen Hart catches him midair. Kind of Rick Steiner-esque, isn't it? And slams him into the ground before applying a wonderful looking sharpshooter. Let's be honest, Owen could do a good sharpshooter. The Rock should have been watching these tapes before he started trying to do the fucking move.
Was a Boston Crab. There's no...
The Rock's was bullshit. And he wins via submission. So thoughts on this one, Magsy? And out of 10, what have you got?
Do you know, this was probably the match of the night. The problem with it is that it doesn't even go 4 minutes. Now, if this had got another 5 minutes, you'd be looking at potentially a 9. But the fact it only goes 4 minutes, you can't give this an incredibly high score because of that. I think Sean Waltman was superb in this match. His kicks looked absolutely crisp. His counters were superb, and then Owen countering his counters. It was just a really well done. They packed a lot into this 4 minutes. Let's just say that this is a match that you should definitely go and watch. But I can't give it a super high score, so I'm going to give this an 8.
Okay, why? When you said I can't give this a high score, 8 seems very high to me.
Well, it's not. 9 and 10 are high.
Okay, but
if this genuinely had another 5 minutes, didn't even need to get to the 10-minute mark, I would have given this a 9. But
okay.
I'm giving it.
See, I'm very much hindered by the fact that it's only a couple of minutes, and I've got a 6.5.
I mean, I can understand why. I think they did 20 minutes of work in those 5 minutes. I think they were both told you're only getting a short amount of time, so They said, we are going to maximize the time we've got, and they went hell for leather. And I appreciate that from them.
Okay, fair enough. And that takes us then to the final. And Owen Hart takes on the coolest guy in wrestling, Scott Hall. Obviously here in his WWF Razor Ramon guise. Art Donovan has picked Razor to win the whole thing. And then goes and criticises him. Oh, I wish he didn't have that toothpick, was a line that directly comes from the supposed babyface Art Donovan about the babyface Razor Ramon. Fuck me, give your head a wobble, mate.
It was a wanker, weren't it? I
Yeah,
mean, I get
100%.
why WWF have other sports stars and celebrities on because they want that mainstream kind of buzz. But this guy, he knew nothing at all about wrestling. Absolutely nothing. You could tell he was not a wrestling fan. So he was only going to hinder the product. And hinder it he did because he said the most ridiculous, banal things. I hope he got a swift kick in the bollocks when he got backstage.
Yes, indeed. The early parts of the match are good, again, as you'd expect from two guys as talented as Hall and Hart are. So good exchanges. We get a nice backslide as well, Maxie, don't we? Where the one guy goes for it, but he gets countered into another person's backslide for a 2 count. I enjoy a backslide. An abdominal stretch as well by Owen Hart, which they tried to point out on commentary. They're not sure how this is going to work because of how big Razor is, and then Owen grabs the top rope for a bit more leverage, and all of that did kind of make sense. Yeah. I quite enjoyed that as well. That made a lot of sense. We get the sort of Bret Hart-esque Russian leg sweep from Owen as well. Before he's caught on the top rope, isn't he? He tries to climb to the ropes and he's given a bit of a shove. And Razor does his belly to back suplex off the ropes, off the corner into the canvas, which is, again, for a guy the size of Razor Ramon, always looks pretty spectacular, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I mean, Razor, Scott Hall, he's a wrestler that you could never get bored watching.
He's fantastic.
He's just so he was so talented. I mean, both these guys were.
Yeah.
And if given 20 minutes like they give Bret versus Bam Bam, this could have been an absolute classic.
Yeah, very true. Razor signals that he's going to go for the Razor's Edge, but naturally he won't complete the move because nobody ever kicked out of the Razor's Edge, to my knowledge, or maybe Goldberg was the only guy. But
I think didn't Scott Hall say that he would never complete the move if he knew he was losing a match?
Yeah. So that gets countered to a backdrop to the floor, where Jim Neidhart completely unnecessarily comes out. And in this instance, this is obviously because Owen's the heel, and they need to give Scott Hall an out for losing this match. They can't have Owen go over clean. I completely agree, completely makes sense. So Neidhart comes out, but he doesn't waffle him with a chair or do anything majorly spectacular. He hits him with a pretty short clothesline, pushes him into the ring post, and then bundles him into the ring, and that's kind of all he does. And it feels like you've got the outside interference, but it's not enough. I want Neidhart to come down and behind the referee's back, do a real number on Scott Hall and cost him the King of the Ring. So then Owen gets the heel heat, and then Scott Hall has got the out. But he doesn't do enough for me.
No. I mean, when did Neidhart ever do enough? I mean, this pay-per-view had 200% more Neidhart than it ever needed because he was involved earlier in the show with Bret and Diesel. It just floundered. Like you said, he didn't do enough to get Owen the heat that he needed.
Exactly. Beautiful top rope elbow by Owen Hart to actually win the match, though. He goes over, wins the match, wins the tournament, is the King of the Ring, and then obviously we get the coronation. What would you call it? Ceremony, I suppose. Granted, this is.
I mean, the ceremony was probably the most fun because of just how ridiculous it was. They made Todd Pettengill get down on one knee. Neidhart presented the scepter, then put the cape, the banana gimp cape around Owen, and then the crown. But Nardot now just he's gone from being Bret's lackey to being Owen's lackey. It's just Nardot he was just a weird character, weren't he? I mean, that laugh, that very massive pot belly. Yeah. He took a lot of Owen's natural heat away from him, I think. Owen didn't need Nardhart as a mouthpiece. Owen was brilliant at being a genuinely hateable heel. He was so good at that. And I think Nardhart makes it cheesy. He makes it cringy. So yeah, he just
this is one of those
dragged it down.
I think this is one of those occasions, though. I mean, throughout the mid-90s and into the later 90s, this was always the case. He was hired as a favour to Stu Hart, wasn't he? Vince McMahon would hire, because Vince McMahon loved Stu. Neidhart would often self-destruct. He had dependency issues and demons, as they word it in the wrestling business. So yeah, it was quite often done as a favour to Stu Hart, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was called Rhino. His nickname was Rhino, and Stu would like ring him up. Vince, can you get a job for Rhino? So
that's it. Yeah,
I get it, but I think he dragged Owen down a little bit in this.
Now, I appreciate this is 30 years ago, approaching 31 years ago. But what amazes me here is when you look at the cast of characters we have, some of them you can appreciate why they would be no longer with us because of the age. But then others, you look at the ages of individuals. It's shocking to me in a way. We've got Gorilla Monsoon, Art Donovan, and Randy Savage on commentary. They've all passed away. We've obviously got Razor and Owen in the final. They've both passed away. We've got Joey Morella, the referee. He would actually pass away just mere weeks after this event at the age of 31. We've also got, obviously, Jack Tunney is there as well. He is now no longer with us. It's only Scott Pettingill who is actually still with us out of everybody involved in this match and the ceremony, which, again, I know it's 30-odd years, and some of these guys would have been some of the older guys, you can appreciate why that may have happened. But then you look at some of the younger guys and you think, man, it's a bit of a shock, isn't it, really, that all of them are gone?
The thing is, though, it's not a shock because we know what the
wrestling,
business is like. And unfortunately, people die very early in the wrestling business. Yeah. Even now, where there is a lot more focus on the health of wrestlers, it's still happening. It's sad that these people's lives are shortened for our entertainment, and I just wish that it didn't happen. But unfortunately, that's the business of wrestling.
Indeed. Out of 10 for the final, then, Magsy, and your general feelings, and then I suppose your average, I guess, for the whole night.
Again, this match felt very paint by numbers. Yeah. Again, it's hard to not compare with Bret's run in the previous tournament, and that is night and day much better to watch than this is. And I love Owen Hart. I genuinely thought he had the potential to be better than his brother, but this tournament was not it for him at all. So I can't go higher than a 6 because it was so run of the mill. Yeah,
I've got a 6 for the match, and I've got a 6 overall as well. I don't know if it'd be an average of my scores. I don't know, probably not. But overall, I get when looking at the 3 matches together. Yeah, the 6 together is kind of where I have it. I think.
I mean, the 1, 2, 3 kid match lifts this Owens overall score by a lot. That 4 minutes carries the other 16 by a long way. So yeah, I think an average of 6 over the 3 matches. That's fair.
Okay, fair enough. Maxie, what would you like to do next week if your selection in the poll wins? How would you like to link from this particular match or matches to something for us to watch next week?
I think after this, we need a bit of a palate cleanser. We need some good wrestling. to make us happy doing this show. And it will definitely be next week, not a month away, unless Simon absolutely shits the bed. I want to go a year in. I want to go a year in advance to when wrestling was brilliant. I want to go to King of the Ring 1995 and watch Mabel's run as the winner of the King of the Ring tournament. Luckily,
oh my goodness,
he only has to fight twice. But those two matches are infinitely better than these ones. So I want to go and see Mabel beat The Undertaker, and then in the prestigious 1995 King of the Ring tournament final where he beats Savio Vega.
You know what? I think there's quite a strong chance I've not seen that.
Oh, you've seen it and you wipe your memory of it.
Yeah, maybe that's maybe more likely. Why? Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can have some real fun with that, can we? Because sometimes this show is at its best when we just got someone to take the piss out of. But yeah, Mabel's run. Why? Okay. And of course, this is what gave him the star quality to go on and main event SummerSlam against Diesel that year,
where he nearly killed Diesel. Don't forget that.
And also have Dave Meltzer
is this
reporting.
not the match as well where he was going to be the third man?
The third man of the NWO, yes, indeed. Yeah, there we go. Interesting.
Is this
so
not also the event where? Is this not the event where he brought the Undertaker's faith?
Oh, and he has to wear that sort of gammy-looking mask, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think it might be this event.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. Why? Interesting. It's funny because you're linking to another King of the Ring tournament. I'm doing the same, but I've not actually picked a series. I've not actually picked a series of matches. I've picked a one match from a tournament.
Okay.
I did a Google search. Sorry, my cat is stuck. What are you doing, idiot? I did a Google search basically on hidden gems, I guess was the term used. Hidden gems, because everyone knows about Bret Hart's King of the Ring run. Everyone knows about Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle at 2001, and we've covered all of this stuff as well. So I want to think there must be some great matches out there in King of the Ring tournaments that just get forgotten about because they're not the final, or the guys didn't win it. Yeah, exactly. One that stood out to me was Finlay versus Chris Benoit from an episode of SmackDown that goes about 20 minutes, and it's supposed to be very, very good. But I thought it's a bit early in our comeback to start talking about Mr. Benoit. I don't really want to have that horrible taste in my mouth. So maybe that's one for the future. So the next one down on this list of match recommendations of hidden gems was from the King of the Ring tournament in 2002, and it features Rob Van Dam taking on Chris Jericho. So that is where I would like to go, using King of the Ring as the link. 2002 King of the Ring tournament, Rob Van Dam versus Y2J.
So one match against two absolute barnstormers of Mabel's.
Barnstormers.
To me.
Barnes. The only thing Mabel ever stormed was a buffet, mate. Barnstormer nonsense.
Mean. Absolutely mean against the world's sexiest lover, or whatever his character was.
The world's largest love machine.
He had some big tits, did old Viscera, didn't he? He had some big old chunky, big old titties.
They were indeed. But those are your options for next week's show. Keep your eyes to the ground and your ears peeled, and on our social medias at @Chain_Wrestling. Vote in the poll. Your options are Mabel's King of the Ring run in 1995 against The Undertaker and Savio Vega, or from King of the Ring 2002, Rob Van Dam versus Chris Jericho. Obviously, the match with the most votes in the poll will be what we cover next week. There we go. Magsy, you said we're going to revisit an old segment now, didn't you? Are we doing that, or are we going into the chat?
Right. I didn't say these things, folks. He's read one word of the messages that I've sent him, and he's just made up the whole thing around it.
Let me have a look. No, what I mean is, you said that you were going to do a road story.
Yes.
in the message, right? And then earlier today, when the show started, you said you're going to do Hogan's Billy Bullshitter.
No, I said the Road Stories is going to take the spot of Hogan is a Billy Bullshitter. And that's why
I
about a month
see.
ago, no longer than a month ago, I said, could you quickly knock up a video to introduce the Road Stories? And you said, yes, I will. I'm on it right now. 6 or 7 weeks later, is that video available?
It is not, sir.
So we'll quickly go through the chat and then we'll do this week's Wrestling Road Story.
I'll do the Road Story video tonight. It'll be with you by the morning.
Okay, thank you. We start with Dan Griffin, and he says he doesn't remember that commentator at all. He must have been shot. Oh, Dan, just go back and just pick random points in the event. Just go on Netflix and just click on the timeline, and within 10 seconds, he would have said something ridiculous. He was a prick, a genuine prick. And then
that guy must weigh 30 pounds.
There was one point where Owen Hart gets brought out, and the ring announcer says, Owen Hart weighing 228 pounds. 3 seconds later, Art Donald goes, how much does he weigh? And Randy Savage goes, oh, I think he weighs about 235 pounds, Art. And you could just tell Savage wanted to smash his teeth in. Just getting that pissed off with him. But Dan says, in a similar vein, he doesn't remember this Owen Hart King of the Ring run. It must have been shit. Do you know, it wouldn't have been shit if you weren't comparing it to the year before. I think
and if you compare it to the year after, it's probably brilliant.
No, it's not. It's not. Don't you besmirch the good name of Mabel. Yeah, we won't have that.
I apologise.
Dan says Jim Neidhart swinging out of the hotel room on his bed sheets is a mental story. I mean, that
Central Road story there.
Yes. Yeah. Dan then says the worst thing ever, aka a 50-50.
No.
And the team are ganging up again. They say, make it so, Dan.
No.
Time for this week's wrestling story. And there's a lot of wrestling stories we all kind of know the ins and not the ins and out, but we know the vague stories about it. But it is fun doing the deep dive to get some of the details. And this is one I've covered before a long time ago on another podcast, but whenever I think of it, it always makes me laugh because it's just typical of wrestling. So we're in the late 70s. We're in Nashville, and Randy Savage and Rick Martel have just worked a house show, and they go to the local Waffle House for some food because that's one of the wrestlers' favorite haunts after a show. The waitress takes Savage's order, and just as he's finishing up, a cowboy walks into the Waffle House and shouts, "I've got him married." The whole of the establishment erupts into cheers because he's clearly local and these people all know him. Apart from Savage. Savage doesn't know him. And Savage was not happy that this guy just rocks up and interrupts him as an order. So he says, "Who gives a fuck?" quite loudly so that everyone can hear. Then the newlywed cowboy turns to Savage and asks him what he just said. So Savage goes face to face with him and slowly repeats, "Who gives a fuck?" The groom is not happy about this, and he goes toe to toe with Savage, and he says, "Do you have a problem?" Savage then says, "I don't know. Do we have a problem?" And then a fight ensues, and this cowboy pulls out a knife on Savage. So Savage scrambles, reaching for a weapon of his own, and he grabs a butter knife.
Okay.
Then the cops turn up. Randy tells the cops that this groom was the instigator of the fight, and the groom and the staff and all the other customers snitch. They're all snitches, and they say Savage started this fight. The cops then attempt to arrest Savage, and Savage, being a big burly wrestler, he's not having any of that, and he resists. So when the cops are unable to cuff Savage, they pull out some pepper spray in a vain attempt to subdue the wrestler. Savage, he telegraphs the pepper spray. He ducks it like he would duck a Hulk Hogan clothesline, and the hot, spicy liquid goes directly into the eyes of the other officer. So then the copper that has not been sprayed and is not on the floor screaming in absolute agony pulls out his nightstick and attempts to subdue Randy. This also didn't work because Randy finds the other copper's nightstick and starts to use that as almost like a shield. Props to Randy. He doesn't use the nightstick in an offensive way. He just uses it to block the attempts at strikes from the other copper. Outside, more police turn up, and upon seeing an angry Savage, they unleash their secret weapon, a big German Shepherd. This dog runs at Savage, and Savage, in a good and also horrific way, volleys the dog.
Oh dear.
Square in the face. But this dog was not happy about that, and he bit Savage directly on the ass. This brought the incident to an end. Savage was arrested, charged with resisting arrest, assault on the officer, assault on the dog, assault on the groom, disturbing the peace, and several other transgressions. So, yeah, if you ever see Randy Savage, or if you ever did see Randy Savage in a Waffle House, just never tell him that you just got married, because he's probably going to stab you with a butter knife and then get two coppers to pepper spray themselves.
Oh, dear me. Wrestlers. What lunatics. What was Martel doing the whole time? Just sat there eating his food?
Laughing. Absolutely laughing. But that's what wrestlers do. They tend to watch and laugh and go, it's his problem. It's a Savage thing. I don't know why that happened. I clicked on a button by accident.
I don't even know what that was. That little video then you played. Never mind. But there we go then. There we go. Again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us this evening. It's been great to be back, Magsy. It's been awesome. It's been brilliant having everyone get involved in the non-wrestling topic again, and everyone in the chat talking to us as well throughout the evening. I hope everyone's had a good time. I'd like to do it again next week, Magsy, maybe. What do you reckon?
Yeah, next Tuesday. I can be available.
See you next Tuesday.
Rude, I'm not now.
There's a t-shirt in that as well, isn't there? I could do, maybe not. Keep an eye out on our social medias, of course, at @chain_wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Look for the non-wrestling topic for next week. Look for the poll to vote in as well. At SJP World Media for anything else the network puts out. Loads of shows, loads of talented guys are doing all sorts of brilliant work on that network. So make sure you're checking out everything you can, giving it all a try, and let us know what you think. Maxie, where can people find and follow you?
Well, they can find me. I have an X account. I very rarely use it. In fact, I only really use it for this show. So don't bother following me on there, because I will never reply to you. I'm almost like a Connor message to Sa. Just, you'll get left on red. And sometimes I press that again. I don't even know how that's happening. But yeah, you can follow me there. Brilliant. Or follow me on TikTok, where you'll find more interesting, entertaining stuff about chickens and all that gubbins, and that's at Pod Farmer Mags.
Lovely stuff. Awesome. Again, thank you so much, everybody. Well, hopefully you will join us again next week. Magsy, I'm off now to make a video for a segment on our podcast that should have been done several weeks ago, and look forward to tomorrow, because tomorrow's my birthday, mate. Managed to get away with the whole show without bringing that up, didn't I?
wow.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it? Hey?
So old.
Indeed. I'll speak to you next week, my friend.
Barry Windham never won a King of the Ring.